I loved working with Karrion Kross and Scarlett as well. They had a vision. They had a vision for that character. He never came without an idea. He never said, your idea sucks. I got a better one. You know what I mean? He was always, collaborative. And so I really enjoyed working with him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, guess what? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here with the man, Vince Russo, with the man's man, the road warrior. There it is, the pellet guns coming out from the hip, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wrestling Outlaws. See, I wish I have an echo. Here we go. The Wrestling Outlaws.
Very nice.
Today.
Yeah.
Is the greatest day.
Yes, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dig right into it by shooting from the hip.
Cool.
We're gonna start off with Road Dogg working with Karrion Kross. So he comes back, he attacks Drew McIntyre, and he looks at Roman Reigns for a TikTok. So I want to know how it was working with Karrion Kross, and also want you to park this in the back of your head after you answer that. I'm interested in your thoughts about the rumors of them splitting the championships as well. So I'll kind of give you that to run with.
Okay. Yeah, look, I loved working with Karrion Kross and Scarlett as well. They had a vision. They had a vision for that character. He never came without an idea. He never said, your idea sucks. I got a better one. You know what I mean? He was always, collaborative. And so I really enjoyed working with him. Now, should he have gone, or I guess, is that for Vince? Should he have gone straight for Roman?
No, you can answer that too. And
look, I don't know that he went straight for Roman. I think he made a big impact on his return, and now you have something set up with either Drew or Roman on the other side. And so I kind of looked at it that way instead of. I guess you can't have it both ways. Either you're going for Roman or he's not. Yeah. But I think that's also a big step in the right direction for his. For us to his debut.
We talked about this before, Vince, you and I, as far as Karrion Kross. You see a potential for him to be champ if the cards were played right.
Yeah, well, remember, Chris, I kept saying, Brian, one thing I kept saying was, who's going to dethrone, Roman, and I kept saying the guy's not there.
Yeah.
Whoever he is, he's not there. So when Karrion Kross came in, I was like, great. But Brian, bro, I love what they did. Listen, bro, I met this guy one time because Disco trained him. So Disco introduced him to me one time and we had breakfast or something. Bro, this is a yes sir, no sir type of guy. And those guys are few and far between now, Brian. You know that, right?
Amen. And he stood out like a sore thumb at NXT.
Yeah. So but the thing is, and Brian, you'll know this. I like the spot they put him there because I don't think there was anybody there to beat Roman. But now, Brian, they got to be very careful with the booking.
Yeah.
Very, very careful with. They've got to keep him clean and keep him pure. And
I don't believe that was possible under the previous regime. Yeah. I fully believe it's possible and believe in it 100% that it will be that way. It was known at NXT that we need to protect this character as much as possible, and it'll be known up there too. And I know that just from the way they debuted him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hunter had faith in him, and he still does apparently.
See, I didn't like the spot. I didn't like the spot where he was debuted. I think they should have made him a killer more. I think, to me, I'm thinking like, okay, a lot of people don't know who Killer Kross is from a spectator perspective, when it comes to SmackDown. And I think, the internet darlings, of course they know who they are, who Killer Kross is, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you need to make him a killer. I think the last time we saw this guy on television to some of the casual fans, he was losing to Jeff Hardy his first match and, having 50-50s with the Bearcat, Bearcat Lee, you know what I mean? And so it's like that was the last image that we saw of Karrion Kross. And to me, him coming in, beating up Drew, that doesn't help Drew, and especially if Drew's the number one guy, the number one contender right now.
Yeah,
I think it has to be that type of parallels, and then they cross paths. I think you build up Kross and you make him a killer, and having him having feuds and just demolishing people, and then you have Drew beat Roman, and then to me, crossing paths further down the line, it makes it look bigger. I mean, what are y'all thoughts on that?
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think the reason was shock and awe, new regime, throw everything at the thing, and we can come back to this story on either side, either with Roman or with Drew or with both. You know what I mean? So I think you're 100% right. If they would have made that choice and put some steam under him and make him more of a killer on their shows, that it would have been better. But I think Hunter's trying to look, guys, there's a new regime and there's a new sheriff in town, and things are going to be different now. And here's how. And so right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't think it was a failure. To your point, it could have been set up better.
Vince.
Well, especially, Brian, because I hope Hunter knows this, because Brian, I always refer to the wrestling bubble. And what I mean by wrestling bubble is, bro, there are people in the industry that have just been in that bubble for decades and decades and decades. And I think they lose sight of how a regular television casual fan looks at this show. Now, Chris, why I agree with you is because of this. And I hope Hunter realizes this. Bro, casual fans remember if you've been beaten. Like, they know, they have not forgotten that Jeff Hardy beat Karrion Kross. Yeah. So part of erasing that stigma is he's got to kill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now if he comes out and destroys people, like you said, Chris, now, okay. But I mean, the casual fan, they do not forget when people, that's why, I mean, Brian, back before us, the Bundys and the Big John Studs, and we can go on and on. Those guys never lost. They were untouched before they got to Bruno or Hulk.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, Brian, I think, Chris, because of what they did, and again, this is Vince, not Hunter.
Yeah.
Because of what Vince did,
right,
you really need to bring him back, looking to kill.
Yeah. I
don't think on TV again.
Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back, and after the attack last week, he cut a promo backstage, and Drew was about to come out, and he kind of peered over and saw Drew going out, from Gorilla.
Okay, so he was represented anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I don't disagree with you guys. I think it's I think that would have been better for his character. I think.
They could still.
I was just about to say that.
100%. That's my point. Is Hunter made a wave with him showing up, and he didn't do it in Dolph Ziggler's match. He did it in Roman Reigns' match.
Yeah.
And now, holy mackerel, the internet, all the ones who hate us, who drive the conversation. If you're looking for any conversation on wrestling on social media, all of them popped and said, Hunter's the best. You know what I mean? And I think that was the regime has changed and you're going to see changes starting now. And I think that was one of them. I think, to y'all's point, now they'll start the rebuilding process and make him a killer. And he can go, like I said, he can go both ways.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I think they should. I definitely think they should make him a killer. Like, I think that I would prefer them kind of taper off of the Drew thing right now, and then he just run roughshod. There's plenty of names right now on the SmackDown roster, as baby faces right now, that he can just run roughshod over and just have that killer rebranding. Because again, you don't want to keep the stench of the public audience seeing you from what you were before. You know what I mean? So
well, look, I can predict right now, like he'll beat Drew in the future for the title. I don't know that.
I can see that.
Think I can totally see that because Hunter will put a rocket to him. Hunter will make him a killer again. And in the meantime, Drew will have a couple of defenses, and you know what I mean? And here we go. And then it's time to move on.
Yeah. And I actually wouldn't be opposed to that if it was booked right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense to me. You know, what Drew dethroning Reigns, and then, you know, him, you know, there's heels, there's Sheamus still out there. There's other things that can be filler, you know, for a few months.
And if that story's told right, that may be next Mania. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Karrion
exactly.
Kross versus Drew McIntyre.
Exactly.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Although I don't, for me, and I'm interested in knowing what you feel about this, Brian. Like, baby faces losing at Mania unless there's a really, really good reason why. I'm not a big fan. I think of like feel good spectacle. Everybody's kind of coming in from the casual crowd. You want to make people feel good. It's kind of like a glorified house show in a sense. A lot of times.
I agree with that, but I think you could do that and have it be more of a passing of the torch moment than a haha, I beat you, and have Drew shake his hand or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's a way to do it, I think.
I'm open to that as far as the handshake moment, passing the torch, because I actually think that Karrion Kross can be a really, really good killer babyface. I agree,
and I think he kind of is right now. But let's see how a broader audience accepts it. You know what I mean?